Hey everyone, it's More Crafts and Mom back for another video.
Hi everybody.
She's getting sleepy, so I figured I better do this video real quick. Um, so this is episode number 43. I did look before I started. I don't really have a whole mess to show you today. Um, I haven't really been crocheting that much. Um, so yeah, it is Thursday evening. It is 10:48 at night, and I'm doing this video now. So I have something bead weaved to show you that I finished. Um, so I made my very first kaleidoscope, and this is it. Pretty cool.
That is really cool.
It is on sale for my. It is on my Etsy shop for sale. I plan on making more. Uh, so yeah. So this is. It is a kaleidoscope. Um. So. So I only have one. I definitely plan on making more. I have a bigger one in progress, and I'm gonna do some more smaller ones like that. So just wanted to show that. So if anybody wants it, it is on my Etsy shop, which is linked below. So that's the only bead weave thing I have finished. So now I'm going to show you some of my crochet finishes. Because some of the items I have to take down to grams tomorrow, and I wanted to show them before I take them down to grams. So my cousin asked me if I could make her some sunflower coasters, and I made 6. I made 3 of this gold color, and then I made 3 of this pale yellow. I made them pretty big because I wasn't sure like what size her coffee cup was or anything like that. And if she wanted to, she could easily put a pot on these and use them as pot holders. She didn't specify how many she wanted either, so I just made her 3 of each. And to go with that, she is sunflower obsessed. So I made her a sunflower gnome. I did put rocks in the bottom so that he stays sitting. I'm gonna do that for all of my gnomes, I think, even the ones, because you start at the top, you work the hat, then you attach the yarn and do the body, and then you close up down here. And I filled the bottom up with scraps of yarn, and then I put rocks, if you can hear. I put rocks in the bottom so he sits really, really nicely. So that is another thing that I finished. It's been a while since I made a gnome, and I did miss making gnomes, so I did make him. And the last thing I finished was, I bought this pattern. It's a skull. It's supposed to be for in your car that you can hang on the mirror. So I made this skull flower hanging thing. I'm not gonna post it on Facebook or on my Etsy shop unless somebody wants it specifically. If you want anything that I have made specifically, you can request me to make one and put it on my shop. And then that way it would just be easier for you guys to like check out and stuff. So that's all for my finished objects. Now we're going to go on to whips. And all of the whips that I have are blankets except for one. I'm going to show you that one first. So I've been seeing a lot of people make Kindle sleeves. And the one that I really, really liked was by LTK Cuties. and I did not realize that she had a YouTube channel. And I got her pattern off of her YouTube channel and just wrote it down in like my own chicken scratch. Well, I started it. It's going to be Halloween colors, so it's going to be black, purple, orange, slime, and then I'm going to do the top gray. So I have the... Now you cannot even see that. I'll hold it up like this. So I have the first couple rows done. The only thing is I don't have like any Halloween buttons. I wanted to put like a pumpkin on it or something, but I don't have a pumpkin. So I'm just gonna pick a color that coordinates with this and put it on, and then it'll just be done. So there it is. I'm using an F hook for this. Oh, for the sunflower coasters, I used a 5. For my gnome, I used a 3.75, which is my go-to for all of my amigurumis. And for the skull hanging thing, I also used a 3.75. This, I'm using a 5 for. So this will be added to my shop when it is completed. I'm just going to throw all my stuff in my basket. So the next one I have is, I have not worked on this since I started it, but just to recap, I started a shell stitch blanket. It's a 2-row repeat. I have not worked on this because I've been working on another blanket, because I need some blankets for my charities, or for my 2 nursing homes. So I just started this. I just grabbed a cake. I put a bunch of cakes into a basket and just started a bunch of blankets basically, and this was one of them. My next one is I picked out a bunch of yarn from my yarn haul that I did a couple months ago from Joann's, and I started a blanket, and this is very, very long, but I am not frogging it. It'll be what it is. Mom said I should do 3 stripes of each color. I have since decided that I'm just going to do as many rows as I want on this to get it bigger. I do have 10 colors that I am using. So it's just going to be whatever I want it to be, and it's a V-stitch blanket. I haven't done a V-stitch blanket for quite a while, so I figured I would just throw one of them into the mix. The next one I am working on is this one here. This is a very simple blanket. It's a row of double crochet, V-stitches, granny stitch, V-stitch, and then back to double crochet. I got this pattern off of Ravelry. It's by Clara M. I think it's the Dakota blanket maybe, or the Georgia blanket. Super simple, very beginner friendly. So it just has a nice little... It's nice because it's not the same thing over and over again. So every row is different, but it's a nice little blanket to work up. And the same thing, I just grabbed a color. I'm going to go until I can't do any more solid rows with it. And then whatever I have left over, I will add that to my scrap bin. And I will get into that in a little bit. So that goes into the basket. My next project is what I was working on pretty heavily, and that is this blanket here. It is just a granny stripe blanket. I needed a couple projects that were very, very easy. Same thing, I am just grabbing a skein of yarn and going until I can't make any more rows, and then I will fasten off and tie on a new yarn. So that is that one. That's going back in my basket. My next blanket is, I was going to do this as a scrappy blanket, But I have since decided that I'm going to do this blanket the way I've done all my other blankets. And that is once I run out of this green and can't make any more solid rows. So that one was either the Georgia blanket or the Dakota blanket. And this is the other one. Now this is very simple too. It's a row of double crochet, row of V-stitches, row of double crochet, and then there's a row where you do 2 double crochet, chain 1, 2 double crochet, chain 1, except for at the end. At the ends, you do 3 double crochet, and then you skip 1, chain 1, 2 double crochet. So this is another very easy beginner friendly pattern. Like I said, I just needed something that was a little bit mindless that I could do while sitting here like watching TV and stuff. So when I run out of this, I'm going to add this to my scrap bin, and I will tell you about that here in a minute. The next thing I have is I've been working on my angel baby blanket. This is how far I've gotten. So I am on row 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. I am on row 16, and I usually go into about 24, 25. Sometimes I make them bigger. Sometimes I make them smaller. This is just a basic granny square. All of these blankets that I showed you, I am using a 6mm hook for. That seems to be my go-to for my blankets. So, but yeah, I'm using mint green from not Hobby Lobby, mint green from Joann's, and white from Joann's, and gray from Joann's. So I have that one, so that's another blanket in progress. So I'm going to pause this, and I'm going to go get a couple things, and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. I had to go get something. So I went into my room because I forgot something. And I actually have 2 loom knit or machine knit hats that I forgot to add to my finished objects, so they are done. All the ends are sewed in, so they're done. And I dropped that, and I dropped something else. Okay, so I have a bunch of other whips. I went on kind of like a kick where I went and started a whole bunch of amigurumis. And by started, I mean I made all of their body parts. Like I made their arms, their legs, their tails if they had them, their ears if they had them. So I wanted to show you what I did. Because hopefully, next time you see me, which will be next week, that I will have some of these finished. Now, they're not completely in order of what I'm going to pull out of the bag, but I have a stack here. There's my stack. So I will just pull one out and find a pattern. So this is the first one. I know exactly what this is. I just have to find the pattern. So this is body parts for Baby Tree Man by Katie Dids, also known as Groot. So the only thing I have left to do is his body, and his head is all one attached. So you make it start from the legs, you go to the body, you go to the head, it's all attached. So basically the only thing I have left to do is just the body. So that is one. What do we have next? So next is this bag here. This is going to be a very big dinosaur. And this is also a Katie Did pattern, and it is the Vinny boy dinosaur. I think her son's name is Vinny because her husband's name is Vince or Vincent. So this is the whole body parts of Vinny boy. So that is 2. And that is not going to work because they are going to fall. So I'm going to lay them over here beside me. Let's figure out what the next one is. The next one I pulled out is Timothy the T-Rex. So I am using a very hot pink, which is not showing up in camera, or kind of is. And the green, which is Green Light, I think, from Hobby Lobby. So that's that. So that's number 3. Figure out what the next one is. So this is going to be a baby a little hatching flamingo, also by Katie Diz. So the only thing I have left to do is the body and the head. And that's all I gotta do. Next. This is the Little Mermaid from Katie Dids, and I already have the head started on this. Let me find it. Yes. I have the head started on this. I don't know exactly where I'm at. So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think I'm getting ready to actually start where you just go down for a couple rows. So this is with this, and all of this will be the Little Mermaid. Got more. What? Oh, yes, this one. So these body parts are going to be this little bear right here. So this little bear is going to be what this will be coming to. All I gotta do is the body. I tend to do this quite a lot sometimes. Like, I'll get in the mood to start a bunch of amigurumi. And can you tell what this is going to be? Black, white, orange. If you guessed fox, you were correct. All I gotta do is the head and the body. Everything else is done. Next. Wonder what this is. If you guessed a cow, you were right. Katie Dids, once again. And my last one. Wonder what this is gonna be. If you probably didn't guess it, it's going to be a little girl. Kind of like this little girl. Right here. Her hair is blonde. She's gonna have a purple shirt on. And basically, all I gotta do, her body and her head is one whole piece. So, that's the only thing I have left to do. Now that I showed you all of my amigurumi pieces, I think I have 10 here. Let's count them. Whoop, got a couple patterns that are turned upside down. Let's fix that. So, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I have 9. I have 9 so far. I was going to do this one here, and I even have the yarn picked out for it. I just didn't cast it on. So, but I think 9 is a good number. So, next time you see me, you'll have to hopefully I get quite a few done, and I can start working on something else. So, those are all of my amigurumis that I have started. Now, I'm going to pause you and I will be right back again. Okay, I'm back again. So, my next thing I want to talk to you guys about is I have one of those. I actually have 2, but they are put together to make 6 drawers. So I have two plastic drawer tote things on top of each other. So I have 6 drawers. And in those 6 drawers, I had 2 drawers full of scrap balls. Well, I've been working on granny squares like crazy, and I've been making a lot of them. So I have made a graph. And this graph, I went and I counted every single granny square I had. And the total that I have is 164 granny squares. So that is how many granny squares I have. And I have more scraps to add since I've been doing these blankets. So I got a box. Well, Mom got a box with stuff in. It's a pretty big box. But in here is all my granny squares. See? And I keep my granny squares in this box because what I plan on doing with those granny squares is I plan to make lap gowns or blankets out of those granny squares. Now, in the beginning of the year, when there was a craze for hexagon cardigans and granny square cardigans, I of course jumped on the bandwagon and I made 2 of my own style. Well, they weren't selling and they were just sitting in my closet, collecting dust and all of that. So I decided to frog both of the granny square cardigans, and get my squares back. So I did that, and I put my squares in this box, and now they will be part of a granny square blanket whenever I get to that. Now, I do have 6 blocks for 600 squares. Will I make that many squares? Who knows? As of right now, I have 164. So I only need 37 before I can have 200. So, yeah. And I also wanted to give you guys an update on my crafty 2024 goals for this year. In the beginning of the year, I set goals for myself of how many of certain items that I wanted. The items were blankets, hats, and amigurumis. I only have 16 blankets left, or made, not left, made. 16 blankets. I have 10, 20, 30, 40, 47 amigurumis out of my 70 goal. And my blankets, I have 16 out of my 50 goal. Now, my hats, I have 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. I have 57 hats. And that includes these 2 that I just finished on the knitting machine. I have a bunch of yarn in a box that will be used for machine knitting. But yeah, so this is what my 2024 goals looks like. I am slowly getting there. So that is where I am at on my 2024 goal. I'm hoping to reach my goals. I'm pretty sure I can do the hats and definitely the amigurumis. It's the blankets that I'm a little worried about. I don't know if I'm gonna have that. If I'm gonna be able to make 20 or 50 blankets, but we will see. That's why I went on a kind of a crazy blanket kick where I started a bunch of blankets, and when I start putting these granny squares together, that is going to be a big help. I still have a small little drawer full of scraps, and as I finish these blankets and the cakes of yarn, I'm going to get more scraps. So I'm kind of like, you know, I think I'm gonna reach it, but I don't really know. Right now, we are like in the middle of July. It is the 18th of July already, and I still have the rest of July, August, September, October, and November. I still have about 5 months before I have to start donating. I donate between the middle of November all the way up to the middle of December, so I could even squeeze a little bit more out. So basically, I have, okay, let's see, July, August, September, October, November, December. About 5 months, that's right. So I have about 5 months to get everything with my goals. When I finish all of those amigurumis, that's going to put me really, really close to my 70 mark. So if I finish all of the amigurumis, that's going to take me from 1 to 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56. So that'll take me to 56 amigurumis, or 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Yeah, 56 amigurumis. And then I basically only have 14 more to go. So I could definitely do that. The hats, if I get my machine out, I can whip them out in no time. And also, I could also do some double crochet beanies, because I knock them out pretty quickly too. What I might start doing is, I have a bunch of variegated yarn down at my grandma's house, and when I'm down there and I'm outside with Nala, I might just work on hats. But lately, it's been too damn hot to work on hats or crochet anything outside. So, and I also have a blanket that is close to being finished down at Graham's. I actually have 2 of them that are close to being finished. Well, I have one that is back and forth, and then I have one that I took 4 granny squares, joined them together to make a strip, and now I'm just working around the whole entire blanket. I actually have one started here, and I have a double crochet strand blanket here. But lately, it's been too damn hot to work on a blanket with such thickness. So, but, yeah. So, I think I'm hoping to get 300 granny squares made before I start joining them. And then I could always add to it. But I'm thinking 30 squares for a blanket. And if I have 200 and I have, let's do the calculator. So let's do 200 divided by 30. I can get 6 blankets out of that. Almost 7 blankets out of that. Okay, let's see if I make 250 divided by 30. That would give me 8 blankets out of that. So if I make 300, let's see. 300 would that be 10 blankets? I'm not good at math. That would be 10 blankets. So if I made 300 squares, I could get 10 blankets out of that, and that would put me at a really good number. Plus all of the back and forth ones that I have started. I've kind of been monogamously crocheting on blankets when I work on them. I do have to work on an order. I got an order to make a stitch amigurumi. So I am going to be working on that here in the next couple weeks. I just have to either figure out if I want to follow a tutorial for it or if I want to have a written pattern for it. So that is what will be upcoming, as well as like all my blankets. And so yeah, so I have a lot of things that I'm going to be working on this next couple weeks. I'm going to try to finish up like 2 of those blankets that I said, as well as finish up a bunch of my amigurumi, and work on my stitch. I have to find a pattern because I have one, but I don't really know if it's going to work. So I guess we'll have to see. So I'm going to let everybody go. Like I said, there's new items in the Etsy shop. The link is down below if you want to go over and check it out. There is only one kaleidoscope, so if anybody wants it, first come, first serve. And yeah, so that's everything I want to show you or talk to you about. I'm going to, I think, crochet for a little bit longer, and then I think I'm going to go lay down. It is now 11:22, so I probably should go in and lay down. Mom's already kind of sleeping, so I probably should go in and lay down. I gotta clean off my bed before I could do that. But I hope everybody has a great night, morning, afternoon, evening, whenever you see this. And I'll talk to you guys later. Bye!